Hello and welcome to Rauta and a black metal review. I am Jerry and this time we go to France with a band name More. Now More is exactly a name that is with many different bands. This comes with an apostrophe on the name, so it's M-O-R with this small, not dot, but apostrophe indeed. I will show you when we get to the Metal Archive site as soon as we've unboxed this glossy digipack release. This is the debut album and comes with a peculiar name, Here They Are Nearing. Sounds kind of ominous, but also like, is that the ice cream truck? I mean, it comes with a roasting title. Let's be honest about it. You can go as serious as you punt it, but, well, roasting team never sleeps. Here is the CD, and here is the packaging. This is from LADLO, which is always known for rather nice packaging, especially with the digipacks and all. So as you can see, there are no real images as such, but then again, of course, there's this booklet. I was just wondering out if there's more art I need to show, but seems not. Here it says actually a couple of labels here. Could be collaboration, whatever, but let's get it on with it. Now it seems like this is calling for some extra light, so let's tune it to get a little bit less with the grainy image. Autofocus decides like, I'm not gonna show you these lyrics, so it's exactly happening right now. So there it is. But of course you are going to read the lyrics in, and if you're going to buy this album as such, if you are a fan of physical products, this is exactly the way to go. So liner notes, lineup, lyrics, everything you need to know about the album is here on the booklet. So if you tune in for Metal Archive site, you will find a few bands with the name More and even one with Mer. So make sure this is the one from France, which is titled here Raw / atmospheric black metal and with an apostrophe. It's important in case you're lacking some kind of a proper Googling skills, because it's so easy to find just wrong band. You probably already know it when you have been typing those names into your YouTube search bar looking for some band or whatever Spotify, Apple Music you're using. And then you're like, okay, this isn't exactly like the review guy was talking about. And this is the problem with bands having similar names, especially when you have apostrophes, hyphens or whatever in the name. And a lot of those search tools just ignore it because it's so easy to just type a wrongly typed name and then the search results say nothing, and then you go for a rather generic name such as this and you will get totally different band. So be accurate when you're looking for the right band. I know, being there, done that, so sometimes like someone sends me a link to a certain band, or I'm looking for information on a band and I'm like, what the hell is this? This is not exactly death metal band. And then, oh, it's with this weird letter or whatever, and it's totally different. So anyway, so this band started in 2014, decided to go with this, I would call silly name, because lots of other bands coming with the same name and it's really easy to confuse it. But they went on, and first demo in 2015, then a live album, which is very weird way to start a career. And then now 10 years later, starting with the debut album, Here They Are Nearing. Now this is peculiar when it says raw / atmospheric black metal. Whoever put it here is not exactly wrong, but it is very confusing, because when we're talking about atmospheric black metal, it usually means it's not really raw. People are probably giving pointers, okay, it's one of those Burzum copycats or followers, which is definitely not so much riff driven or aggressive or raw end of black metal, but something else. And then again, of course, raw black metal can mean anything from bands like Dark Throne to Ildian and what have you. This isn't exactly neither, so I'm saying this could be a little bit misleading in case you're blindly following those genre definitions. Because the thing here is, yes, the sound is somewhat rough, crude, not necessarily really raw, but the music isn't really atmospheric at all. It's almost like, I don't know why this is labeled as such, but unknown are the paths of those who decide the genres for newer bands on the side. And sometimes, of course, bands change. Maybe this is based on whatever they did with the demo and all. Now, this is rather generic take on the second wave of black metal with a little bit modern touch. Surely the sound, the production is somewhat raw end, but that doesn't make the whole music rather. I mean, more it's kind of a fast tempo, somewhat melodic, black metal, but not overly. I mean, this ain't no dissection and the like. This ain't no Swedish take on, Norwegian or Nordic black metal, I was meant to say. Nor it is exactly, raw. It's not really violent. It's no Marduk, it's no Dark Funeral and the like. It's no Dark Throne. It's, anyway, I'm just putting this quite middle in the terms of black metal. Surely it sounds black metal to begin with, but it's really avoiding those subcategories in my opinion anyway. Coming with almost 45 minutes of music in 9 tracks, this is pretty basic go-to run to the mill kind of a black metal release. And now you're wondering, so is it any good? And I was like, certain elements certainly are. But when I was looking for information regarding the album, it was quickly found out that this album has been recorded in various parts and places throughout the years. Meaning this wasn't so focused like sometimes bands go for a studio during a couple of weekends for a week and do everything there together, hone it, polish it, just get it out everywhere. This seems like drums here and there, a lot later certain guitar parts, a lot later vocal parts and all that stuff, which explains why this album sounds a little bit like a mess. Let's be honest about it, there are lots of processes and works which can take a lot of time, but when you overextend and do it here and there, it kind of shines through the result. And this is one of those albums. There are parts where this is actually sounding very promising, and then there are lots of parts which like sounding like fillers. And maybe that is what exactly happened during those years, because you kind of want to get through it all. Once enough time has passed, you probably get a little bit frustrated, like this has been all taking 2 years to finish. Let's just get it done and get it over with and move on. This sounds exactly like that kind of album. So making compromises because of frustration and time rather than being focused in a studio for a week or two. And that means a lot of these songs are filled with just filler riffs. The kind of stuff that doesn't really annoy you, but also the kind of stuff that you would say in a lot of other bands, this would be filler riffs which would be either killed right away or which would serve as a bridge purpose. Something between the chorus parts and the main riffs or whatever. And I'm saying this album feels a little bit frustrated because it's not really strong in terms of production. It's not really good in terms of songwriting. There's nothing really which goes like killer before the filler, but the other way around. And it makes this a little bit boring towards the end, especially when it's not some 29 minutes, which is like, okay, before you're like, okay, it's already done, I'm gonna give it another spin. With 45 minutes when the music is more like mediocrity, with some nicer ideas here and there, it gets quite work-like, really. So can't really bitch about it properly, but can't really call it great either, and be honest at the same time. I would say this is a little bit of a lukewarm example of how you do an album. I would say this is more like demo material with demo level production rather than a proper full album. And that is probably so because of the recording process the album went through. I kind of feel sorry for the band it came out like this through the years and all that stuff, because I know how frustrating it can be when you have a set of songs and everything is done, lyrics, whatever, and then things take time and nothing really goes on, and you're probably like moving on, doing already new songs and blah blah blah. Been there, done that. So I know it can get frustrating, and if you lose the focus, even for 1 minute, you have a weak moment in your life, you just want to push it through. It's almost like you ending up in a bad relationship because you don't want to be alone. This is the kind of album what you get out in a system like that. Now, that may sound harsh, and I don't want to mean like this is a bad album, because it's not. But it's not great, so this falls between the good and the bad ones, resulting kind of lukewarm, kind of a basic black metal one, kind of a typical debut album in such sense. It could have been a lot better with more focus, more, well, just stronger production, and that's what it is. But if you're into French black metal and you want to give a go some new bands and all that stuff, now give it a chance. This has been out since April 12th, 2024, so relatively new still. And of course, if you like physical product, the LADLO CD is the way to go, meaning this one. And I don't know, looking forward to your comments. You will find links to this album and this band in the description box below. So check it out, and I hope you like it more than I could. Thank you, and bye-bye.